Everybody. I really hope you had wonderful seders, and we can't wait to hear all about them. We'll begin our service this morning on page 103. We rise for Birchot HaShachar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan us et bibina lavkin ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzomo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokev kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei kaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oz Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ot Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten le'ayef koach. You may be seated. We're going to turn to page 116. Here it is called on Pesach, Psalm 136, to the tune of the Portuguese melody of Shirat Hayam. Hodul Adonai ki tov, ki leolam chasto. Hodul Elohecha Elohim, ki leolam chasto. Hodul Those of you who have a need or desire to say Kaddish, we turn now to page 121 and invite you to rise for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'amad divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam ul'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromab, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. You may be seated, and we turn to page 141, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 because hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 B'tei HaShamar. Hallelujah, hallelujah, B'nevel B'chinor. Hallelujah, 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 till the rain shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, till the rain shama. Oh, Anshamate Hallelujah. Oh, Anshamate Hallelujah. Oh, Anshamate Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, Anshamate Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Please rise. We're going to turn to page 143 for Oziv Zimrat Yah as we cross the sea last night and as we're going to cross the sea tonight. We join together. God is my strength and my might. God is my deliverance. Oziv Zimrat Yah. Lishua, let's hear those harmonies. Ozi Vezimrat Yah. Vayehi Lishua. Ozi Vezimrat Yah. Vayehi Lishua. Ozi Vezimrat Yah. Vayehi Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Chag Sameach, everybody. Wow, it's such a pleasure to be able to see you just virtually. I bet you didn't mind not having to get dressed up to come to synagogue this morning. I wonder how many of you are still suffering from the matzah of last night or just beginning to. We hope that you had wonderful Sidarim and that it's the beginning of a wonderful Passover, of bringing together community. Even though you're homebound, we are with you. What I love about the structure of the prayers and the ways that the rabbis have designed them is that almost for any service, you can tell when something is different. And this morning is no exception. Normally on Shabbat or weekdays would begin with Yishtabach on a weekday or Shochenad on Shabbat. But in just a moment, when the Chazan begins Ha'el B'Tatzumot, and with a different melody, already we are woken up to the fact, wait, it's not the same. It may feel the same. By the way, it may feel like I'm at the synagogue, but I'm not. I'm here in my home, in my study, but we want you to feel as if you are with us. We are all together. And this special occasion of the Chag, we're going to begin with Ha'el B'Tatzumot Uzecha, page 147.
Ha'el B'Tatzumot Uzecha, Hagadol B'Kvod Shemecha, Hagibor Lanetzach, V'Hanora B'Norotecha, HaMelech HaYoshev Al Kisei Ram V'Nisa, Shochen Ad Marom V'Kadosh Shemo V'Chaturanenu Tzadikim B'Adonai Lai Sharim Nava Tehillah. We continue now, Chatzi Kaddish, page 148. Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalmad divrach cherutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachonu v'yamachonu v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, b'hagala u'bizman karib, v'yimeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam lamei amaya Yitbarach ve'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam ve'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh, v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela mikol v'yita v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'ama, v'imeru, Amen. We turn to page 149. We rise for Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai turn to Or Hadash, which we will find on page 153, the second to last line. Yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Or Hadash, Al Zion Ta'ir. Or Hadash, Al Zion Ta'ir. Benizkeh, Ulandu Benizkeh, Ulandu Meira, Le'oro. Benizkeh, Ulandu Benizkeh, Ulandu Meira, Le'oro. Yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Turning the page. Ahava Rabbatanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Emlagid Olam Itera, Gamalta Aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Ba'avur Avotenu, Shebatnu Becha, Shebatnu Becha, Avinu Malkeinu. V'talamtem Chukechayim, V'tifonenu l'tamdenu, Avinu ha'amarachaman, Amarachem rachem aleinu. V'ten libenu le'avinu, le'avinu le'haskil lishmoa, v'ilmadu le'lamed, lishmor ve'la'asot. Ulekayem et kol divrei Talmud Torah ve'ahava, ve'ha'ereinu b'toratecha, v'daber leinu b'mitzvotecha, ve'yachem levaveinu le'yahava u'yirah et shemecha. Nevosh le'olam ha'ed, v'lo nevosh le'olam ha'ed, v'shem kodshecha ha'gadol ha'norah v'tamnu. Nagila v'nizmecha, Nagila v'nizmecha b'shuatecha. We gathered the four corners of our talitot. We put them in our hand, placing it close to our hearts as we join together on page 154 at the arrow. V'havienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot haaretz, v'tolichenu komemiyud le'artzenu. Ki el ואהבתנו לשמך הגדול, לשמך הגדול, סלע באמת להודות לך. Adonai, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue davening to ourselves, top paragraph. Next page. Middle paragraph, page 156. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, v'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei vigdehem ledorotam, v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf, v'til techelet, v'haya lachem letzitzit, uritem oto, uzachartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, v'asitem otam, v'lo taturu, acharei levavchem, v'acharei nechem, asher atem zonim achareihem, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem, amen. We continue with Micha Mocha in the middle of page 158. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osefele, shira chadasha, shivechu geulim, l'shimcha asvatayam, yachad kulam hodu, v'himlichu ve'ameru, Adonai Himlo Avraham Vaed Sur Yisrael Kuma Bezrat Yisrael Uferechinu Mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzavot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Ba'al Yisrael. We find the festival Amidah on page 306. I expect you all to harmonize with me when we get to those parts. We begin together, left side of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chachadim Tovim V'konei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot U'mevi Goel Ivnei V'nechem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechai Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umidomelach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanat Lahachayot Metim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMetim.
וקדש שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, וכתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melocho haaretz kevodo.
אז בקורש גדול זה וכך הקדושים אותו, ויאמרו.
Az b'kol rash gadol, adir v'chazak mashmi'im kol, mitnaseim liumat serafim, liumatam baruch yomeru, baruch kevod Adonai b'mekomo. Mimkomecha malkeinu, Tofia betimloch aleinu ki mecha ki manachnu lach matai timloch betzion bekarov beyameinu leolam vaed tishkon Titgadav v'titkadash b'toch Yerushalayim irecha ledor vador ulenetzach netzachim ve'einenu tirena, tirena malchutecha, kadavar ha'amur b'shirei huzecha, ve'einenu tirena, tirena malchutecha, kadavar ha'amur b'shirei huzecha, al yedei,
Al Yedei, David, Al Yedei,
David,
David,
al yedei,
Al Yedei,
David.
David.
Mashiach Sidkecha, Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Zion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah. Ledor Vador Nagid Godlecha, Ulenetzach Netachim Kedushatcha Nakdish, Vashivcha Chaloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush, Le'olam Va'ed. Ki Melech Gadol v'Kadosh Ata, Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue silently. Words on the page are the words in your heart. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Amen.
Pesach, celebration. Every holiday that we have Chag, we include the Hallel service of praise. Hallelujah, praise unto God. The Hallel service helps us identify this is a special day. And if you're following in the Siddur Lev Shalem, you're going to be on page 316, which is the Hallel. And we're going to today and tomorrow do the full Hallel. But thereafter, it's the only times on festivals that we won't recite the full Hallel. On the preceding days, we're going to just do a half Hallel. Why do we do that on Passover? Because we acknowledge that there were those who suffered. There were Egyptians who suffered. And even then, our joy is diminished. That's the great symbolism, right, of the cup and taking out for the 10 plagues, which we did last night, a drop of grape juice or wine for each of the plagues to acknowledge that people did suffer. And so our celebration is a little bit muted. almost a little bit like on this Passover, knowing that there are people who are suffering in the world. It's a little bit hard to celebrate fully in life, but we have to find that joy. Today, we will join together in the full Hallel. Again, the Siddur Lev Shalem, if you have that, page 316. Please, Chazan, and they can rise if they'd like to stand, they can join us together.
That's a great idea. And also, if you have any musical instrument, even a glass nearby, don't break it though. Okay, join in with us in any joyous way that you can. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et hallelujah, 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 Adonai. Hallelujah, Shem Adonai. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Mimi me afarda me ashtuka riverya. No shiri ibidi ibidi amo. No shiri adere abayi. Hallelujah, your turn. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Beit Yaakov ve'Amoreh, b'tzeit Yisrael mi'Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov ve'Amoreh, Hayata Yehuda v'Koshu Yisrael, Am Shelotav, Hayam Ra'av Hayados, Hayayim Zole'achor, b'tzeit Yisrael. Page 318. Hold on. think I'm at the wrong page. 317. The words don't look right. Okay. And the arrow. Yisrael b'tach Adonai, Ezra u'maginahu. Yisrael b'tach Adonai, Ezra u'maginahu. Yisrael, 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 b'tach Adonai. Yisrael, 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 Ezra u'maginahu. Avot b'chulu Adonai, Ezra u'maginahu. Yireh Adonai, b'chulu Adonai, Ezra u'maginahu. Yisrael, 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 b'tach Adonai. Yisrael, 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 Ezra u'maginahu. Adonai Zecharanu Yivareh, Yivareh et Beit Yisrael, Yivareh et Beit Aharon, Yivareh Yireh Adonai, Atanim Imagorim, Yosef Adonai Alechem. Alechem ve'alechem, beruchim atem Adonai, et hashamayim va'aretz, shamayim Adonai, ve'haaretz natan b'nei Adam. Go hametim ya'aleluyah, ve'lukol yordei ואנחנו נברך ואתה באדונם, ואתה באדונם, Hallelujah. Now page 318. אהבתי ישמע אדוני את קולי תחלוני, יחידה את הלך לפני אדוני בארצות החיים. האמנתי כי אדבר, אני עניתי מאוד. אני אמרתי בחוזי, בוא האדם גוזר. מאשיב לאדוני נדרי לאדוני אשלם נגדנה לכל עמו, בחצרות בית אדוני, בתוככי ירושלים. הללויה. הללו את אדוני. שבחו כל האהובים, כי גבר עלינו חסדו, ועבד אדוני לעולם. הללויה. ישראל לעולם חסדו, יום נחלה ישראל כי לעולם חסדו. The third paragraph on page 319. Karatia Anani Kamerhaya Min Hamitza Karatia Anani Kamerhaya We continue reading silently to the top of the next page. I had it all set up here. Okay. Page 320. Peacefully. Sharet said, Abugam, Odeya, Abugam, Odeya, I'll sing the next lines and you repeat from home each line that I sing. Ana Adonai Oshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana, Ana Adonai, Hoshiana, Ana Adonai, Atzlichana, Ana Adonai, Atzlichana, Ana Adonai, Atzlichana. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai berachem mibeit Adonai. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai berachem mibeit Adonai. El Adonai vaya'er lanu Yisrocha ba'avutina karnot hamizbeach. El Adonai vaya'er lanu Yisrocha ba'avutina karnot hamizbeach. Ata ve'odeka Elohai arumamecha. Ata ve'odeka Elohai arumamecha. Oh, Adonai Gito, Gideodam Pasto. Oh, Adonai Gito, Gideodam Pasto. Page 321. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Il patron de Shimana et Elisabeth. Il est au Merlane Adonai. Atael, Atael, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech Mehulah, Batishbacho. And we all say, Amen. We continue with the Kaddish Shalem on page 321. Yikra likra shemei rabah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich machatei b'chayechon, ve'mechon b'chayechon beit Yisrael. V'agalo b'zman kori v'yimeru, Amen. Yehish me'rabam mevorach, le'adan le'ameh amaya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yifar v'tumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei tekudesha.
Richu.
Le'elam tovachtav shiratak shmachat v'nechmata, v'amechan v'alma v'yimeru, Amen. Yitkaval tzlutol v'utahon l'chol beit Yisrael, Kodom v'shmaya v'yimeru, Amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'yimeru, Amen. Oseh shalom bimrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, Amen.
That was so awesome. I hope you were all dancing at home and singing with us. We're going to start the Torah service with Ki Mitzion on the bottom of page 322. Ki Mitzion, Tetzei Torah, Ubar Adonai miYerushalayim. Ki Mitzion, Tetzei Torah, Ubar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Next page. Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed Lalafim, Nose avon v'fesha v'chata v'nakeh. Ba'ani tefilati, tefilati, lecha Adonai, et ratzon Elohim, berov chasdecha, aneni, aneni, be'emet yishecha.
We're about to begin our Torah reading for the morning, and we're taking a break from our regular Shabbat Torah reading cycle to read the Passover story, as you might expect. So we're reading from the book of Exodus, and we have Erwin Shore with us, who will be reading in the Hebrew, and you'll even get to hear Hazan Stein joining in the English, so that we know exactly what we're talking about. We know the whole story of Passover that we're reading. If you're following along in an Eitz Chaim Chumash, we'll be beginning on page 385 with Exodus chapter 12, verse 21. And before we begin, we'll recite together the blessing we've been saying for the learning of Torah together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Erwin will take it away.
Amen. Vayikra Moshe lechol ziknei Yisrael vayomer alehem mishchu lachem tzon lemishpachosechem v'shachatu haposach ukachtem agudase zo utvaltem v'adom asher basof Bigatem elamash kofi el shetei hamzuzos min adom asher basof yatem lo seitzu ishmi pesach beso ad boker yovar Adonai gofes mitzrayim biroas hadom alamash kof el shetei hamzuzos ufosach Adonai al pesach V'lo yitein amashchis lavo el botechem lingov ushmartem es hadavar hazeh lechak lechavonech ad olam v'hoyo kisavo el haaretz asher yitein Adonai lachem kasher diber ushmartem es ha'avodah zos Dehoyo ki amru alechem benechem ma avodah zos lachem amartem zevach pesachu l'Adonai asher posach abotei v'nei Yisrael b'mitzrayim v'nog poes mitzrayim v'yaspotenu hitzil Vaykoda om vayishtachavu vayelchu vayasu b'nei Yisrael kasher tzivo Adonai es Moshe v'Aharon kenosu.
Moses then summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go pick out lambs for your families and slaughter the Passover offering. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in the blood that is in the house, in the basin, and apply some of the blood that is in the basin to the lintel and to the 2 doorposts. None of you shall go outside the door of his house until morning. For when the Lord goes through to smite the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorposts, and the Lord will pass over the door and not let the destroyer enter and smite your home. You shall observe this as an institution for all time, for you and for your descendants. And when you enter the land the Lord will give you, as he has promised, you shall observe this rite. And when your children ask you, what do you mean by this rite? You shall say, it is the Passover sacrifice to the Lord, because he passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when he smote the Egyptians, but saved our houses. The people then bowed low in homage, and the Israelites went and did so, just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. In the middle of the night, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the captive, who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. And Pharaoh arose in the night with all his courtiers and all the Egyptians, because there was a loud cry in Egypt, for there was no house where there was not someone dead. He summoned Moses and Aaron in the night and said, up, depart from among my people, you and the Israelites with you. Go, worship the Lord as you said. Take also your flocks and your herds, as you said, and be gone. And may you bring a blessing upon me also. We continue on verse 33 in the Hebrew.
ותחזק מצרים על הום, ומהר לשלחם מן הארץ, כי אמרו כולנו מתים. ויסעם אס בצקו טרם יחמץ, משערוס שם, צורוס בסמלו שם על שכמם. בני ישראל עשו כדבר משה, וישאלוהו ממצרים כלי כסף, וכלי זהב ושמאלוס, ואדוני נשן אסכן העם בעיני מצרים וישילום, וינצלו אס מצרים. וייסעו בני ישראל מרמסי סוכוסו, כ600,000 רגלי, הגברים לבד מטוב. וגם ערב רב עלה איתם, בצאן ובקר מקנה כבד מאוד. ויופו אס הבוצק, אשר הוציאו ממצרים, גוס מצוס כי לא חמץ, כי גורשו ממצרים. ולא יכלו להשבמע, וגם צידה לא עשו להם. ומושב בני ישראל אשר יושבו במצרים 30 שנה ו400 שנה, ויהי מקץ 30 שנה ו400 שנה, ויהי. בעצם היום הזה יצאו כל צבאות אדוני מארץ מצרים ליל שימורים הוא לאדוני להוציאם מארץ מצרים, והלילה הזה לאדוני שימורים לכל בני ישראל לדורם.
One of my favorite parts of the Passover Seder is the discussion of the four children. It's just one of our many groups of four on Seder night, right? Last night, you probably had 4 cups of wine and you asked and answered 4 questions. You might have discussed 4 promises of redemption. But I love the 4 children because it acknowledges the diversity around any Seder table or Zoom call, as the case may be, that not everyone experiences the Seder and the Passover story in precisely the same way. So for this morning, I had this idea. You know those online quizzes with titles like, which ice cream flavor is most like your personality? Or answer these 6 questions and we'll predict your next vacation. So I wanted to give you all a quiz this morning entitled, which of the 4 children are you? But of course, if you know the 4 children, you know that they're not all so flattering. And rather than have you all mad at me for calling you a wicked child, I figured I'd skip the quiz, jump straight to who these 4 children really are. So the traditional understanding is that the 4 children are wise, wicked, simple, and the one who doesn't know how to ask. The wise child is interested in knowing the ins and outs of Passover, asking questions like, what are the rules of celebrating Passover? What's the meaning behind it? The wise child wants in, so badly wants to be part of the Jewish tradition. The question, what are the rules of Passover, really means, how can I be part of this? How can I learn more? Please include me. The person traditionally called the wise child is really the passionate one, the one who wants to be included. The wicked child separates themselves from the tradition, asking, what does this all mean to you? The Haggadah emphasizes that you, not me, not what does it mean to me. The wicked child has already decided that the Seder and Passover mean absolutely nothing to them. So the best question that they can really muster up is, why is this important to you when it's certainly not important to me? But to really understand the wicked child, we have to examine how they came to feel so disconnected from our tradition. Was it a bad experience in a Jewish community? Was it a lack of Jewish education? Was it a tragedy that cost them their faith in God? This person traditionally called the wicked child is really the disconnected one, or even better, the not yet connected one. The simple child asks a simple question. What is this? Or what does this mean? In calling this person the simple child, we've made the assumption that they ask this type of question because they just can't handle complexity. They don't know how to think more deeply than just, what is this? Perhaps this person does not yet know how to ask a more complex question about Passover because they lack the background knowledge. But to the simple child's credit, rather than sitting back and doing nothing, the person starts simply. They want to get the background information so they can start absorbing what this holiday really means. A nicer phrasing would call this person the one who is eager to begin. And finally, the 4th child is the one who does not know how to ask a question. This child says nothing, and it is on the adults at the Seder table to begin explaining the story of Passover unprompted. But we all know that the literal inability to formulate a question is not the only reason someone might decide not to speak first in a conversation. In fact, when the goal is to get someone to really open up to you, to really explain what something means to them, to share deeply about their experiences, often the best way to encourage that is to just be quiet, leaving space for them to fill the conversation with whatever comes to their mind. This child who doesn't ask a question is allowing the others at the Seder table to answer whatever question feels right without constraints. If people want to share their own family traditions around Passover, or their favorite parts of the Seder, or the part of the Exodus story that most resonates with them, whatever it is, this non-asker is going to be the one to hear it because they made space for it. So rather than calling this person the child who does not know how to ask a question, I would call this person the open-hearted one. The task at hand is fourfold, just like our other groups of 4 at the Seder. The first task is to figure out which one you are, the passionate one, the disconnected one, the one who is eager to begin, or the open-hearted one. And the second task, based on which type you are, is to figure out how to deepen your understanding of Passover this year. Do you need to find ways to include yourself in the Passover story and your family's Passover celebration? Do you need to reach out for new connection to the Jewish community in our tradition? Do you need to refresh yourself on the Exodus story from the beginning? Or do you need to stay quiet for a moment to leave space for others to share their Passover insights with you? Now that you've categorized yourself, the third task is to figure out who your loved ones are, who's around your Seder table or Zoom table. You can think about those people who will be there tonight or just who you talk to on a regular basis. Which type are they? And the fourth and final task, perhaps the most important one on this holiday of telling our story, is to figure out how to communicate with each type to bring them in to the Passover narrative. We're told that we must all see ourselves as though we left Egypt. Passover is a holiday about each and every one of us. So if you know someone who is the not yet connected one, how can you help them connect? And if you know someone who is the open-hearted one and likes to leave space for you, how can you fill that space with why Passover is meaningful to you? And if you know someone who is eager to begin, how can you help them find the starting point? And if you know someone who's passionate about being included, how can you help expand their opportunities for inclusion and leadership? It's a wonderful blessing to know people of all different types so that we can learn from one another, teach one another, and share with one another. And the 4 children help us do just that. We'll continue with the second Aliyah that Erwin will chant for us. If you're in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, it's page 389, and that's Exodus chapter 12, verse 43.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe v'Aaron, zo sukas ha'posach, kol b'nei chol lo yochal bo, v'chol eved ish miknas kosef, u'mato oso yochal bo. Toshav v'sochir lo yochal bo, v'vayes echad ye'achel lo sotzi, min ha'bayis, min habasor chutza, the etzem lo sish beruvo, kol hadas Yisroel yasu oso, v'chi yogorit choger, yosothes achlaro noi, nimol ochol zochor, the ozikrav lasoso, v'yok ezrach oretz, v'chol orel lo yochal bo. Torah achas yeh lo ezrach, v'lager agor b'sochechem, v'yasu kol b'nei Yisroel, kasher tzivo Adonai, es Moshe v'es Aaron kenosu, v'yehi b'etzem hayom hazeh, Hotzi Adonai es b'nei Yisroel, Eretz Mitzrayim al tzivosom.
We're going to transition to our prayer for healing for you, for your loved ones, for anyone you know. Kazan Mimi is going to help lead us in this Misha Berach as we join together from your hearts. Send those prayers out if they're for you. Bring them in as we join together.
Great.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We're going to offer prayers of healing and strength for all the people, you know, those who are fighting cancer, for those who are perhaps dealing with an approaching issue in their life, for those who are recovering from surgery still, from those dealing with any of the viruses that are around, especially those battling the COVID-19. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to feel the healing power of the blessings. I want you to feel strength and comfort coming to you and sending it out to all the others that are in your thoughts and in our minds, to all those in our community who are suffering. We send out this blessing of healing and strength.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
For our third and final Aliyah, we're going to return to Erwin. We're in the Eitz Chaim, page 931. If you're following in any other text, you can know it's chapter 28 of the book of Numbers, Numbers 28, beginning verse 16.
ובחודש הראשון, ב14 יום לחודש פסח לאדוני, וב15 יום לחודש הזה, חג שבעת ימים מצות יאכל. ביום הראשון נקרא קודש, כל מלאכת עבודה לא ששו, הקרבתם נשאו לו לאדוני, פורים בני בקר, שניים ואיל אחד. ושבעה כבשים בני שנה תמימים יהיו לכם, ומנחוסם סולס בלולב השמן, 13 נים לפר, ו12 נים לאיל תעשו, יסרון תעשה לכבש האחד, ל17 כבשים, וסיר חטאת אחד, לכפר עליכם, מלבד עולס הבוקר, אשר לעולס התמיד. תעשו את אלה, כאלה, תעשו ליום 7 ימים, לחם אישי ריח ניחוח לאדוני, על עולס התמיד יוסף נזכו, וביום השביעי מקרא קודש יהיה לכם, כל מלאכת עבודה לא ששו.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא תפרח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה, ובזמן קריב יאמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
I want to wish a Yasher Koach to Erwin Shore, who wouldn't let a little virus keep him away from us. And always a pleasure, Erwin, to have you with us in memory of your mother and your father. And I know how important they were to our entire community. So thank you. And behind me, by the way, I have a virtual image of the sanctuary. I know sometimes it's a little bit disheartening when I move around a little bit, parts of me, they disappear. I'll try not to move around too much, but maybe it's a reminder. I'm trying to give you a sense of the holy of this Shabbat when it's so hard sometimes to feel it in our own living rooms or studies at home or wherever we are. I want you to feel a little bit of the sanctity of the community of Temple Aliyah, to feel it in your hearts. But maybe in my moving around a little bit, you'll know we're there, but not quite really there. So last night, you welcomed in Elijah, such a prominent figure in Jewish tradition. We placed the 8-day-old boy on the chair of Elijah. We mentioned him prominently at the end of Shabbat in the Havdalah ceremony. And of course, last night, we opened the door for him at our Passover Seders. How did Elijah get such a starring role in Jewish life? You see, unlike the 3 major prophets of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and the other 12 minor prophets that all have their own books, how is it Elijah, just mentioned a couple of times and a couple of stories, no book of his own, ends up being so prominent within Jewish tradition? Well, it didn't hurt that the Bible never mentions that he actually died. Instead, the last mention we have of Elijah is him ascending to heaven in a fiery chariot, and hence this tradition that he never died. And the rabbis, they have him coming back and performing acts of loving kindness, of helping out people in their greatest moments. That's how tradition wants to see this character of Elijah. But to go back to his early life, the first thing to know about Elijah is that during his lifetime, he spent most of his time fighting against the false prophets of Baal. He knew that the quickest way to be led astray was through false idols. Even today, in our home isolation, that message resonates with us. We've learned that the false idols of fame and fortune mean nothing against the coronavirus. We've learned that nature doesn't care how important your job is. It will strike. We've also learned to respect that expression, the force of nature. In our hubris, we thought we could control anything and everything. Elijah fought against the belief in such false gods, in believing that we ourselves were a false god, perhaps. Elijah devoted himself to making sure that the Israelites were dedicated to their covenant with God. He understood that the covenant between the Jewish people and the God had to be reaffirmed and lived fully in every generation. That's why he has such an important role in the Brit Milah ceremony, because he was a defender of the Brit, of the covenant. And so with every male child brought into that covenant, and even today when we bring in women, they'll often be brought in with Elijah and Miriam or other figures. But Elijah, he in his lifetime had performed so many miracles in the name of God that dealt with bringing fire from heaven, bringing people back to life. His dedication to God did not come without consequences. People didn't like to be told when they are falling short of expectations, especially kings. And he is chased away. He doubts his own role as a prophet. So he had to learn one final lesson, making his way to Har Horeb, Mount Sinai, where the great revelation had taken place with Moses. Amidst the thunder and lightning and earthquakes, God taught Elijah that God's presence could also be found in the still small voice, Kol Damama Daka. If we just take a quiet moment, we can feel God's presence. Forced into isolation, we're challenged, aren't we, to find meaning beyond these moments, to find new blessings. Elijah beckons us to find God's presence in the still small moments of what we call life. Today's Torah reading was all about the Passover observed in Egypt, the very events that we reenacted last night. We know from the Torah verses this morning that Passover was not just supposed to be observed that one night, but for all future generations. And yet, according to the Torah, it was only observed in the first year following the Exodus, not again until the Israelites entered the land of Israel. The Haftorah we normally would be reciting here, and which we recite today, is read from the book of Joshua, It tells the story of the Israelites entering Canaan and preparing for their Passover celebration, the first one in 39 years. Right? The Torah mentions that they not only observed Passover in Egypt, but the first year that they left. But nothing is mentioned about the following years. According to rabbinic tradition, there was a mass circumcision before the Exodus in Egypt, before the offering of the Passover lamb. And then no circumcisions until 40 years later, until they had arrived in the land. And in order to observe Passover, they had to have, again, a mass circumcision for all those who had left, who had been born in the wilderness, and who are now coming into the land. Renewing the covenant with God through Brit Milah and observing Passover with the Pesach offering and eating the matzah would mark a fitting conclusion of the Exodus. This is how they came into the land. This is how they began their relationship, the new promise of coming into the land that God had given to them so many years ago. This is what they had marched through the wilderness for all those years. That promise, the promise of a land seems so far away. And they arrive now. And their first act is going to be to observe the Passover, to tell the story. Throughout history, in every generation, the message of the Exodus, the telling of the story has been an essential reminder of who we are as a people and why the belief in a special covenant of a brit is so important to our survival. Abraham Joshua Heschel likened the Jewish people in his time to a messenger who has forgotten his message. How many of us have forgotten that message of what it means to have a covenant, to be plugged into the story of the Exodus? You see, Passover is that message. The story we're supposed to tell every year, the deep rituals that are a reminder of the past, but a message of the future. The Torah and the true importance, by the way, of Elijah is not what he did in the past, but rather what he means for the future. He has become associated with the coming of the Mashiach, Messiah, a time in which we see humanity as becoming fully evolved in how we treat people. We will have eliminated all forms of warfare and will dwell in an era of true peace. Elijah is the symbol that we should never give up hope. We must remember the importance of living a life with purpose, reflected in a covenant with God. Most of all, we must be able to perceive God's presence every day, as Elijah did in that still small voice. And we have to believe in a time of redemption, a future redemption, a future in which the world is a better place. And that's the job of Elijah. How does that future begin, though? It begins with the human act of opening the door for Elijah. It's Elijah who will usher in that new era. We would have imagined that of all the miracles that Elijah is capable of, bringing people back to life, of doing so many miracles, why couldn't he just open the door on his own? Doesn't that seem like a simple feat to be able to do? But it's important. The ritual is for us to go and open that door. The coming of a better future is the human action of opening our doors. Elijah, he's the symbol, but we are the initiators. We must begin that action to create a better future. May we continue to open those doors and work for a better world. I wish you all a Chag Sameach. We miss you all so dearly. We're going to continue our service with Ashrei. You'll find, if you're using the Siddur Lev Shalem, on page 339.
Okay, so everybody pick a part, harmonize. You know what to do. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelu chasela. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelu chasela. Ashrei, They will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Oh, Hallelujah, Selah. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Oh, Hallelujah, Selah.
We're about to recite a special prayer for dew that we always say on the first day of Passover. Even though it's actually still doing plenty of raining here in LA, this tends to be around the end of the rainy season in Israel. So we end our season of praying for rain, and we begin the season of praying for dew to help sustain the crops during the dry summer. And there's a very special tune used for this prayer. You'll get to hear a little bit of it as Chazan Stein leads us in the first stanza of the prayer. Then we'll read an English prayer, and we'll conclude with blessings for this season of dew. If you have in front of you the Siddur Lev Shalem, you can follow along on page 375.
Avoteinu, ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 tal, tal, taltein, lirtzot, arzach, shiteinu, veracha, veracha beditzach, rov dagan, vetirosh behafritzach, komem, komem, irbach eftzach betach.
Our God and God of our ancestors, with luminous dew may the land be illumined. With blessings of dew may the land be blessed. With gladdening dew may the land be made glad. With joy-filled dew may the land be joyous. With glorious dew may the land be glorified. With choice dew may the land be chosen. With dew-filled songs may the land sing. With vital dew may the land be revived. With goodly dew may the land prove good. With the dew of deliverance may the land be delivered. With nurturing dew may the land be nurtured.
Livracha velo liklala, amen. L'chaim velo lemavet, amen. L'sova velo l'razon, amen. For blessing and not for a curse, for life and not for death, for abundance and not for famine. And we all say, Amen.
Amen. We're continuing now with the Musaf portion of our service. So we'll invite you either to have some time for your own personal reflections or to use this time to recite the Musaf Amidah with the inclusions for Pesach. And you can find that on page 343. And Hazan Stein will play a little bit in the background.
עושה שלום במרומה. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. Hey, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la. Say shalom Jehovah, tu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. We continue now with the Kaddish Shalem, page 203. ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחי ונכון וחי לכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו אמן. יהי שמירה ומבורך לעלם לעלם לעוליה יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ושמם ינשא ויתהדר ויתהלב ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעלמה ויאמרו
אמן.
תתקבל צלותו ובהון רבי ישראל ואדונו שמיה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עליהם אלפי ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
So we'll continue with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu ki mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu כחמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים מן האב ושכין עטוזו וגוהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד עמק מלכנו אפל זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והקשבותה אל לבבך כי ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. If you are standing, there's a moment of the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, when the inclusion of community is so very important. All of us together to create the sense of community. And so any of you have the need or desire to recite the words of the Kaddish, I invite you to rise at this time. We're mindful of all those who have a yort site at this time, including Mitch Kreitenberg's mother. Normally he would be reading the Haftarah on a day like today. We missed him in the Haftarah, but think of his mother. And for all others who have a yort site on this day or reciting Kaddish, we turn to the words of the Kaddish together. Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'Almad Yivrach Yeruteh V'Yamlich Malchuteh V'Chayechon V'Yomechon V'Chayei D'Chol Beit Yisrael B'Agala V'Zman Kari V'Meru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Umei Omaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh Yitadar V'Yitalev V'Yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu Ve'ela Mikol Birchata V'Shirata Tush V'Chata V'Nechamata Damiran B'Alma V'Meru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Meru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Romav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Meru Amen. May God establish his peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel and all of humanity, as we say Amen. Just a reminder, tomorrow we'll be back here at services at 10 a.m. But we're going to be on Zoom, so you should look for the special information rather than broadcasting. We're going to try and just to do this more intimately. We know that we have fewer people, so you'll be able to see everybody online with us and to be able to go along with the prayers together. So we hope you'll join us tomorrow at 10. And of course, we have all through Shabbat, we have, as we've been doing, the candle lighting at 6 o'clock. We have a service at 7 o'clock. We'll have Shabbat morning at 10 o'clock. And then we'll have Havdalah on Saturday night. We've got a full series of Chag and of Shabbat for you. We miss you all. We hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Pesach. And Chazan Mimi, I think you have the Kiddush and Motzi, but not with Chalot. We've got the Matzot. So we're going to, they can join along with you.
Okay. Vayidaber Moshe Modei Adonai el bnei Yisrael Savari Chaverai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. And in my house, it's still grape juice. All right, we're washing hands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al nitilat yadayim. And the moment we've all been waiting for. Not one, but 2 months out. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. And I hope to see many of you tonight at my virtual Seder. We have a lot of people, and if you can't get on the Zoom, it will also be on Facebook, and you go to Aliyah Live to find it. So Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Shiru, 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 Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Shiru, 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 Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach. ay da 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 da. Shiru 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 Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da. Shiru 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 Chag Sameach, ay da 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 da.